Hello, I'm Tim Coles. I am the Director of Music and Community here at First United Methodist Church of Pittsburgh, and today's devotional will be Christ in Dislocation. I'm going to start today in March of 2020, which is familiar to pretty much every human on the planet, and we all have lots of strong feelings and memories from that period of time. Mine, as the calls came in when we were at the church and speculations started to solidify, we got very worried about how we were going to continue. And I remember when the realization came through that, and that it was going to be long, and that life was going to be very different. And I remember one day, just in the midst of that time, leaving my Lent-themed messy office and walking by and noticing the choir folders all full of Holy Week music and Easter music. And I walked into the sanctuary by myself at one point and sat down at the piano, as I sometimes do, and played a couple of notes. The room is always spirit-filled, but it was empty. And I just wept at the changes that were apparent. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down and there we wept, when we remembered Zion. On the willows there we hung up our harps. I was expecting to participate in a framework, you see, that I had participated in for the previous 22 years. My location was comfortable. My dislocation was jarring. Despite the global nature of the fledgling pandemic at that point, my own personal world felt small, insulated. My initial impulse was to worry about things in my own tiny world, right? How could my kids handle being dislocated from their school? How is this mandated dislocation going to affect the work life of my wife, Jen, or me? How could the church still be in ministry within the many areas that it was active in? It was tough. How did you feel during that period of time? Can you remember on your own, what type of feelings that were invoked by that situation for you? You have heard all of this before. Any podcast that you came across, anyone that you could imagine, along with opinion outlets galore, print, broadcast, they have all tackled this theme of dislocation in terms of food shortages, toilet paper scarcity, speculation on how the rate of climate change would be affected, with many locked down at home. The future prospects of Broadway actors or performing artists in general. Who's at risk? Masks, vaccines, essential workers? How about changes in the landscape for domestic violence, income inequality, the crisis of the unhoused, political divides, racial inequities? To varying degrees, the global pandemic has rent broad swaths of our society, revealing ugliness as well as beauty. Arguably, one of the issues that has risen to the surface is race. Now, it may have felt to me that the global dislocation occurring was fanning the flames of unrest in this matter, but the truth is that dislocation was already a reality for many who aren't sitting in the place of privilege that I am, or frankly, have the same color of skin as me. Where does Christ fit into this for me? Christ, the ever-present companion, the stirrer of the pot, the heart mover. Most importantly for me, the connective tissue that binds the entire universe together and creates relationship. Witnessing the physical relationships of the world around me, coupled with the real beautiful and messy relationships, enables me to take steps towards examining the tough relationships unfolding within myself. My location was comfortable. My dislocation was jarring. Christ is present. So for all the topics I could talk and talk and talk about, the one I'm just going to touch on right now is race. While experiencing the dislocation of the pandemic, I've learned and continue to learn about my own history and the history of my surroundings and how they played a mostly unwitting role in shaping some of the privileges that I have that others do not, for no other reason than skin color. That dislocation is jarring. After witnessing a lot of societal unrest surrounding race over the past 2 years, I am trying to keep my eyes open. What a privilege I think I've had to be able to close them before. I mean, it's not a privilege. I mean, it is a privilege, but maybe not a benefit. Christ is present. May I keep my eyes open. How have you approached self-examination during these turbulent times? Mine is not an exploration of how to self-depreciate or punish myself, but it is a journey of discovering uncomfortable truths that can be worked on for the betterment of the world, I think. Christ is present. I am a racist, but that's not all I am. I am more than that. What hard truth are you willing to explore about yourself in the hope that you will learn to walk as compassion, as forgiveness, as open, as listening, as servant, as love, as Christ?